What happens when love goes too far? For the victims of these Valentine's Day killers, the answer was murder. Let's go story 1. On February 14, 1996, Anthony Williams and Kareem Brock disguised themselves in women's clothing and entered a 7-Eleven to rob the store. Sarah Kinejad, a 19-year-old woman, was sitting in the store waiting for her husband. She was shot and later died at the University Medical Center. Kinejad was 6 months pregnant. At the time the murder of Kinejad went unsolved until July 23, 2020. Both men have now been formally charged with Kinejad's murder as well as manslaughter for the killing of her unborn child. Next story. On February 14, 2010, Richard Scott drove to the park to meet his wife and exchange Valentine's Day gifts. When his wife, Stacy, arrived at the park, she found Richard shot to death outside of his truck. What seemed to be a random act of violence was proven to be a murder-for-hire plot only 3 short months later. Stacy Scott had paid personal trainer Reginald Coleman $10,000 to murder her husband. Coleman and Scott have received life sentences for the murder. Story number 3. Nathan Luthold, a former missionary and resident of Illinois, was sentenced to 80 years in prison for the murder of his wife, Dennis. According to prosecutors, Luthold schemed a plan to cover up his wife's murder by making the scene look like a burglary gone wrong. However, due to a too neat crime scene and odd behavior, Luthold was quickly the prime suspect in the February 14, 2013 murder. Prosecutors alleged that Luthold had planned to kill his wife to be with his mistress, 21-year-old Aina Dobilate. Dobilate was a Lithuanian exchange student the couple was hosting. The state's attorney labeled the murder a Valentine's Day present from the Luthold to Dobilate. He claimed that previous internet searches, such as how to silence a .40 caliber Glock, proved the murder was premeditated. Story 4. Anitragan, a senior at Fort Valley State University, went missing on Valentine's Day of 2020. Her friends and family became worried when they could not reach her the next day, and a search ensued. Gunn's body was found 4 days later in a wooded area. An autopsy revealed her death was ruled a homicide. She was believed to have been strangled sometime between 2:30 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. on February 14. Gunn's boyfriend, DeMarcus Little, was a prime suspect. The police arrested him on vandalism charges that stemmed from a February 5 report Gunn had made. The report claimed that her car tires had been slashed and a house window had been broken. DeMarcus Little was later charged with malice murder for her strangulation. Little has not yet been convicted or sentenced. Last story. In January of 2009, Tiana Notice filed a restraining order against ex-boyfriend James Carter. She had asked the police to enforce the restraining order after being contacted by Carter on several occasions. The cops didn't take her request seriously, and nothing was done. Again violated the restraining order on Valentine's Day of 2009, catching Notice outside her apartment and stabbing her 20 times. She died 2 hours after the stabbings in 2012. Carter was sentenced to 60 years in prison. I hope you like this video. Subscribe this channel and connect with me.